quick. Next with whoopsie. Whoops, that wasn't half a tablespoon here. So first of all, we're going to put in. And the zest is just the white bit. Sorry, the zest is just the yellow bit. If I can get into the wraps. Here we go. Or maybe not. How do you get into these? Oh, there. We don't need any fluid in, so make sure you shake it all out. Shake it all out. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some family favourites. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go and get some items from my fridge. You can come with me. So here we go. Okay, so today what we need is some stuffed peppers. So we'll grab those. Squeeze the space in my fridge. Stuffed peppers. And we'll have some lemon to go in our chicken enchiladas. Some carrots. There we go. And what else do we need? We'll have some. What else do we need? I think that's it out of here. Yeah, I think that's it because the meat's defrosting outside. I think. Yeah. So. See you in a minute. So I'm just going to show you how I make my red wine beef stew. So you need some chantenay carrots, some baby potatoes, some diced beef, lean diced beef, bacon, streaky bacon if you've got it. If you haven't, anything that's lying around in the cupboard, ham or out like that, anything like that. Some red wine, some parsley, some thyme, some garlic powder, an OXO cube. If you don't have red wine, then some red wine stock cubes from Tesco's are good. Or you can add them as well if you want. Onions, celery, tomato puree and some oil. And we're going to be making this in the Instant Pot. So the first thing first, we chop up some vegetables. So we need a stalk. If you haven't got any celery, then celery salt will do. Once you've done that, take your onion, chop one end off. Don't chop the other end off. If you chop the other end off, what tends to happen is you cry. So the bit with the roots on, don't chop that. And then across the way. Once you've done that, we're going to chop up our carrots. Now I buy chantenay carrots, give them a quick wash and then chop them in half sometimes if they're too big and they're done. So that's your carrots chopped. Then all you need to do is wash your potatoes, which I've already done and dried them, and then cut them into bite-sized chunks. So first of all what I'm going to do is take my bacon. Now I've chopped this into small pieces, as you can see here. It's about half the pack of the bacon, so we're going to put that on to brown in my Instant Pot. I'm going to open the Instant Pot. Ooh, there we go. And switch it on. And we're going to switch it on to saute or fry. Brown here we have, brown. And we're going to spray down a bit of oil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 sprays of my trusty fry light. And what we're going to do is brown the bacon. So as they heat up, just give it a stir with, you can use whatever you've got, as long as it doesn't scratch your Instant Pot. I've got one of these, I'll link it in the description box below. I found this through a YouTube channel called Six Sisters Stuff. They do a lot of Instant Pot meals. And I thought, oh, that looks handy, and it sure is. It doesn't scratch the pan at all, and it's good in most pans. Good at smashing up the meat and what have you if you're cooking those, mince or anything. Yeah, really handy tool to have around. Try not to move it around too much when you first start this, because moving it around stops it from browning. So once your bacon started browning, the next thing you need to add is your celery and your onions. You need to soften these a little bit, so we're going to keep these on saute. I like the smoky texture and the smoky flavour of the bacon really. You could add up mushrooms to this dish as well, but I don't have any in the house today. Let that saute for a minute or two. Stir. A bit of a mash. And just leave it for a minute or two to slightly soften. Once your onions are starting to go a bit translucent, it's time to add the meat. Now, I know that usually recipes say saute the beef until it's seared. We're not going to do that. Turn off the Instant Pot because you don't need saute anymore. And just put minus the beef in now. And now it's just a case of dumping everything in. So next would be your carrots, so pop them in. Then you need to add some herbs, so we've got some parsley. So you need quite a lot of parsley, about a tablespoon of parsley in here. So pop that in. A bit more than a tablespoon, but it won't harm it. Half a tablespoon of thyme. Doing very well there. An oxo cube, just break it down and pop it in. This is as easy as it gets. One red wine stock cube. So one red wine stock cube going in. A tablespoon of tomato puree. Some garlic. I'll use garlic powder on this one. That's about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we need to add 1/4 pint of wine. Red wine. And 1/4 pint of boiling water. Then pop your potatoes on the top. And then close your lid. Set your timer to pressure cook on high pressure for 10 minutes and start. Oh, and before you do so, make sure that your release is set to fixed and start. Once your timer has reached 10 minutes, get a wooden spoon and release the pressure from the back and stand back, don't touch it. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. There we go. Ooh. Now we just need to check that everything is cooked. It should be, because it's like being in, yep, they're cooked. So what we need to do now is give it a stir into all those lovely juices. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Looks lovely. And we're going to thicken it up with some gravy granules. Now there's no measurement for this, I'm afraid. It's keep stirring until you've got the right consistency. So make a well in the corner, pour a good bit in, give it a stir, and then stir it all in, and it should thicken up nicely. And just keep doing that until you've got a nice thick stew, which we're starting to get now, I think. No, not quite. A bit more maybe. I don't like using corn flour. I don't think it tastes very nice, to be fair. You can also do this with the meat from frozen. Just put it on for longer. And there you go. There we have it. Nice beef stew. There we go. Nothing quite like a bit of ground pepper. You won't need salt because it's got salt in the bacon, in the OXO cube, and in the other one as well. What's that one? The red wine stock cube. As you can see, it's just falling to pieces, so it's lovely. Okay, I'm going to plate this up for my father-in-law and call it done. Enjoy. To make chicken enchiladas, or my chicken enchiladas, what you need is about 3 chicken breasts, some tinned tomato, paprika, celery salt, cumin, chilli, some kidney beans, an onion, some carrot, 2 peppers of different colour, bit of lemon juice, some garlic and some salsa, and also some wraps which I haven't got out yet because I won't be using them yet. So the first thing we're going to do is chop our vegetables, which we have here. So now that we've chopped all our vegetables, what we're going to do is put it in the Instant Pot. So we're going to dump everything in and then let it cook. So first of all, we're going to put in all of our vegetables. So we've got our onions and peppers. Then we're going to get our chicken and pop that in. It's defrosted, this chicken, so you can actually do this from frozen, and it just takes slightly longer. I've done it and cooked it for 15 minutes and it was absolutely amazing. No problem with that at all. So that's our chicken in. Once we've got our chicken in, what we need to put in is our other ingredients. Next we put in our drained and rinsed beans. These are kidney beans. You can use any bean that you want. It doesn't have to be kidney beans. Sometimes I've even used baked beans. Next we're going to put in our spices. So we want a teaspoon of cumin. Now I'm using a half teaspoon here because it's easier to actually get it in the jar. That's the only reason. So there's 2 of those. If you like cumin, you can put more in. A teaspoon of chili powder. Again, we're a load of wimps in this household, so a teaspoon's about all I can cope with. So that's 1, 2. A teaspoon of paprika. This is the normal paprika, not the smoky paprika. You can use the smoky paprika if that's what you want to do. Sometimes it helps it with a nice smoky undertone. A teaspoon of celery salt. That's half and 1. About a tablespoon of oregano, but I'm just going to eyeball this because it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it. It's just I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of garlic. This is the very lazy garlic, the chopped garlic. Whew, it's quite strong. A jar of salsa. Now I've got old El Paso salsa here and it's some leftovers, so I'm just going to put that in just to use it up. Then a full tin of passata, in it goes. And then the zest of a lemon. What do you think? The zest is just the yellow bit. Try not to get the white bit because it is bitter and horrible. And then half a cup of water, the same as my jar of salsa. So give it a shake, then pop it into your tomato can because we want all of that as well. Give it a swirl around and tip it out and you should have most of it gone. All we need to do is put the lid on, make sure our vent is set to sealed and not venting. Then we're going to switch it on. You'll be able to see that I'm going to set for pressure cook for, don't want 30 minutes, we want, let's see if we can get down here. We're going to do it for 10 minutes and then start and just leave that to cook. What we're doing now is fishing out our chicken because we're going to shred our chicken. So take it out, put it in there. Ooh, good. So we're going to shred it and put it back into the stew that we have. So this is what it looks like when it's all been shredded. So all you need to do is mix it all in. There you go. And then leave it to cool down for an hour or so. So now we're going to assemble our chicken enchiladas. We've got our chicken enchilada here. What we're going to do is put it in some wraps now. Some of the chicken mixture in here. Try not to put too much water in because we are going to add some tomato to the top of this. So I'll just go right the way along. I don't fold my ends in on these because it's so much easier not to. So across, pull in, and then over. And yes, you'll make a mess at the other end, don't worry. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to continue in this vein. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tip a jar of thick and chunky salsa in. This is the mild one because we're a load of wimps in this house. Pop that in there. This just makes it go further. Bit of mix in. Just pull this down so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to spread it about. I say it's healthy. It is healthy. All it is veggies, so I like to leave the ends slightly open and not with any sauce on because I don't like the whole thing to go kind of soft. I like crispy bits, so we're gonna keep the ends crispy, I think. There we go. And then just top with some cheese. Just a light sprinkling. I know kids like it. If you've got more kids, then please feel free. Just pop more cheese on top. It's your recipe. You do what you want. That's it. And then just pop it in the oven for 30 minutes on gas mark 6. To make sloppy Joe stuffed peppers, all you need are some peppers, some tomatoes, some garlic, some mustard powder, an onion, tomato puree, some ground beef. I've got some free-from cheese because I'm not supposed to have lactose, Lee and Perrins Worcester sauce, and red wine vinegar, and the last thing is cheese. Now I've got a combination of cheeses here just because I haven't got that much cheddar left. So we've got mozzarella and cheddar to go over those. So let's get into this. So we're going to start by chopping our peppers into halves. So half our pepper and take the seeds and stalk out. So taking your pepper, just cut down and then pop it in at the bottom and pull up and it should come out. Okay. So line your baking tray with a bit of non-stick tin foil. So that's that one. And that one. Once you've got all your peppers chopped and halved and cleaned out, what you need to do is take some oil. I've got some of my trusty fry light here and spray them. Give them a bit of a seasoning. And then I'm going to put them in the oven on gas mark 5 for 30 minutes. Once your carrot and onion have been frying for a few minutes and they're starting to look translucent or starting to go that way, it's time to add your mince. And I've got 750 grams of mince here. Pop it all in and then just break it up into the mince. And I've got this handy little chop stir thing which is really very good with mince or anything really, any type of meat, just to break it up. And just keep doing that until it's browned. When it gets to this stage, we need to start putting in our flavourings. So you need, I would say, 1.5 teaspoons of mustard powder. There we go, that's 1.5 for that. Mix that in. Then we're going to put in some garlic, about a teaspoon of garlic. So that's 1, 2. This is quite strong, this one, because it's the lazy garlic. And we're going to eyeball about a tablespoon of oregano, which is about what's left in here. There's that. And a teaspoon of paprika. Actually 2 teaspoons of paprika. This is smoked paprika. It'll give it a lovely depth of flavour that we need in it. Mix that in. Okay, now we're going to add some tomato puree. And we're going to add a tablespoon of tomato puree generally. There's 1. 2. Pop that in, mix it in. Now when you put tomato puree in, you need it to cook out for a few minutes, and it sometimes helps as well to add some sugar when you're putting tomato based stuff in. Now you need to add about a tablespoon of Worcester sauce. I'm going to put 2 in. So there's 1. 2. And the same quantity of red wine vinegar. That's 1, 2. Give that a mix around. Once that's in, get your tomatoes and pop those in. Now I've got passata here, so what I'm going to do is add some fresh tomatoes to this in a minute, towards the end. We'll just put a little bit of water in there, just swing the can out, and then just mix that in. We're going to let this cook for a few minutes while I chop up some tomatoes. Leave your oven on and turn it up to gas mark 6. So that's about 100 grams of tomatoes halved. All we're doing now is waiting for the tomatoes to cook through a bit, and then we're going to put it into our peppers. So we've switched off our mince now, and we're just going to taste it to see if it needs any seasoning. So we'll just take a bit of juice out the middle. It's good, but it needs salt and pepper, which I've got here. And salt. Okay, get a clean spoon and take a bit and see what it tastes like. It may need, this is the time to test to see if it needs sugar, which I think it does a little. So this is just your everyday granulated sugar that I'm putting in. About half a teaspoon in, sprinkled over. Then mix that in. It just balances out the vinegar and the acid from the tomatoes, and just check it. I Actually, I'll give it a bit more in the mix first. Oh, that's better. So we're going to put this mixture into our peppers. So I'm using a scoop because it's easier for me. Now we're going to put them in the oven for half an hour. When your peppers have been in the oven for half an hour, take them out and you should have something like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of cheese on top of them. Put that back in the oven for about 5 minutes until it's melted. And there you have stuffed peppers. Thank you for watching my recipes today. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you did, hit me up with a thumbs up, subscribe and share to your friends. It all helps the algorithm.